think, a crucial question
What was
to
that?
me. And she said, "Do you know why people are so moved by your paintings? Because there's something there that relates to them. Some get angry, some cry, others laugh, but it's not the kind of works that you pass by and say, ah, look, this is very beautiful, or this is no.
No, that's true.
They stay and go inside the painting, and they really react with thoughts and feelings. And she said maybe that's why people in a museum love your work, because of that. Even it's not beautiful or oniric or poetic. Well, poetic,
poetic.
It can be.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes it's difficult.
I think it is quite beautiful. I mean, you paint so beautifully, but also this dark imagery,
Of
which
course.
is.
I,
You mean you're.
I'm a drama. Everything is going bad. Nobody's is going to like this show, and I don't understand.
You're just being overly critical.
Overcritical.
Yeah.
And even if he had sent me many times what he was doing, I was not sure. And it's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
It was very difficult for me to have this partner and have all the responsibility
Yeah.
with
But he's positive the whole time.
he's positive all the time and nothing happens to him. So he comes all calm.
Well, he's used to this kind of deadline
Of course,
thing that he
he
does.
lives like that every day. Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So
He comes in and
he
he's-
comes in, he has this, I don't know, the memory sticks, or I don't know, how do you call that? Everything was ready. He, choop, choop, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Of course, he worked a lot. We worked with the preparators at the museum. They are the best you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
They are magicians. So he talked a lot with them, and they understood what was
The lighting was beautiful.
the lightning, but all the cables that are
Hidden.
hidden, and what kind of this and that he would need to do the sounds, right? And I didn't understand a thing. One day before the opening, we knew what we were doing.
You
together.
felt like it was all
Oh.
working. The museum has been very supportive of your work.
Yes. Yes,
I
absolutely.
mean, they've collected several pieces, right? And some people even have gifted some things to them
Yes.
as well. Did that start with Amy Galpin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to mention her because
Yeah, she was a very enthusiastic collector. I mean, curator of your work.
Yeah.
And I always enjoyed her work. She did. at the
and that
museum.
was the first time I showed my work at
Right.
the museum with an altar piece.
They too see that they're happy that people engage so intensely with work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's not necessarily true with all art. And your work is rooted in a much more, I think, traditional kinds of imagery,
Yeah.
which you then have, I think, expanded upon and contemporized.
Exactly.
And I think that it has probably brought an audience to the work.
Yeah, and that they were telling me that altar piece is one of the
Yeah.
more visited
Really?
paintings
we
in the
went
whole
to look at it.
museum.
Yeah.
In the whole
Again.
museum, they even had to put the museum glass
Oh.
because I had to go like 3 times to repaint some. They want to touch
Oh, they want to touch the
Yeah.
image. What do you think that's about? Why do they want to touch it?
the lower piece.
Yes.
Where's Eve and all the animals?
Oh, they want to get
Yeah,
really close to it?
Yes, exactly. So
How
I had to
interesting.
do some repairing there, and they decided to put the museum glass. And to say the truth, I have been doing larger pieces, not the small miniatures, because I'm older, of course. My eyes are not the same.
Is
I have arthritis, so sometimes my hand Please do
Cooperate.
Cooperate, please, 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 please. But the thing is that even if the pieces can be larger, the same amount of detail is there. The same brushes are used.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Well, that's you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so intrinsic to your work, that detail and the
yeah,
beauty of the detail.
yeah. I love it because that makes me calmer. I'm a little neurotic with the details, but that's good for me.
Yeah. Maybe I would call it dedicated.
Yeah. And I always have this, like you, my notes. And it's funny because it always, the idea comes from something I'm writing.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it comes the image, not the other way. Every work of art will be a completely different work of art for each of the people. that
Absolutely.
Sees
Yeah. Yeah.
the painting or the sculpture or whatever.
As it should be, it's open-ended. Interpret as
And
you
that's
will,
wonderful, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
completely different.
Because I often say when I'm teaching, I say to students, you can listen to what the artist says about their work and what they intended, but you can then go ahead and interpret it as you want to, too. You don't have to go exactly according to what the artist says.
With your own story, your
Yeah.
own...
And you probably enjoy that they do this.
Oh, I love it. It was a show I presented at the Secut 6-7 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And I invented this like a theater play
Okay.
between the characters that
Uh-huh.
are here,
Uh-huh.
and they are like the modern archaic characters that live in a society.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you have the doctor, you have the teacher.
They're
you
sort of
have-
archetypes.
Exactly, archetypes. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the word, archetypes. It's all satire because once they allow me to invite them,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a doctor is a very good doctor and he really wants to help people, but once he is in the play, he uses a mask and he can do whatever he wants. So, like the dark part of all those characters come at the second. And I wrote everything in calligraphy and in English and in Spanish. And the thing is that every character is accompanied by an angel or a demon. It was very funny because my son gave me a treaty about demons
Oh, yeah?
written in the 17th century. So it was so much fun, really, because
It echoed for you, resonated for you.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like the angels, the arcángeles,
Oh, yeah. Well,
and the
and-
seraphims, and the... No, it was wonderful. Maybe the next project. I
Sure.
want to do a book. That's the next thing.
Oh, how interesting.
I would love to do with these stories, with
Yeah.
the written part, for instance, the altarpiece, the monologue or the dialogue between the Virgin and the...
Yeah, that was wonderful.
And maybe with this one,
With all of your work, the characters in them, the angels, the demons, sort of almost allegorical at
Sure.
times,
Yeah.
symbolic, but
yes,
leaning toward the allegorical.
Yes.
Yeah, which I think people, as I was saying before, they read their own stories into it. And perhaps that's why they get so involved in it.